Welcome to a tour of Chapter 6. Just going through the text a little bit for you and highlighting also the work that is up for this week coming out of the chapter. The chapter is titled Feminism, Motherhood, and the Workplace, and these all do tie together in an interesting way in this brief little story or setup that begins the chapter. The question asked here, have these women failed the feminist movement, is kind of focusing mostly on the comment of one of the women here who says, we see it as a battle fought for the choice. You'll see here at the beginning of the chapter kind of an introduction, brief history of feminism, the key points contained in our chapter and in the reading, or in what I am asking you to read, do have to do mostly with liberal feminism, what they're calling here the second wave. Linda Hirschman's article, Homeward Bound, which I'm asking you to read, actually focuses quite a bit on her attack on choice feminism. So it'll give you a chance to think about that. And the list that the book gives, structure, first before doing that, they an interesting document that I'm sure most of us probably had not heard of unless we sought it out, the Bill of Rights from the National Organization for Women. You will note that this Bill of Rights, for example, was set up in prior to Roe v. Wade, so you'll see that the last demand is related to abortion and reproductive rights. But as our book points out, quite a bit of these demands, quite a few of them, have not been met or have not been, certainly not been met fully. So onward, the book gives us, as it often does, a brief structural list of the different kinds of feminism. Again, liberal and radical are probably the most familiar to people. Marxist and socialist feminism is not really represented in our article choices. Gender essentialist feminism, one of the articles that I'm not making you read, it's still a very good article by Ruth Groenhaupt, is actually making the case that liberal feminism is better than gender essential feminism in fighting for women's rights. And ecofeminism, instead of having a representative of that in our articles, I have asked you to read an article by a male feminist, Jonathan Anderson, who the article is short, and though I'm not asking you to do the discussion board or the essay quiz on it, I think it might be able to help you think through and perhaps utilize it for the other work, the work that I do have up. And several this notion of patriarchy is of something that of course all feminists are working against in some way, and as our book points out a couple of times, and in some of the back material to the articles, a current thinker named Stephen Goldberg maintains the patriarchy has a basis in biology. Again, that article is not in our text, but is referred to in a couple of different ways here. The issue of motherhood, which again relates in a couple of different ways to a lot of the feminist angles that are taken, particularly the notion of what kind of choice that women have, and as it says here, the possibility that motherhood being looked at as, says here, a sacred calling, is something that works against women sometimes, from the standpoint of feminist philosophy. Women in the workplace, another thing another issue that Linda Hirschman talks quite a bit about. And just to bump over to the module for a minute. This module has, in addition to this lecture, a video, a brief lecture, 7-8 minute video lecture, Linda Hirschman, and the topic related to women and earnings and the economy is really relatable to the essay that you are being asked to read. So again, women in the workplace being addressed in that fashion in our module. Sexual harassment, again, the third required reading. Kelly Oliver deals not so much with sexual harassment, which is just briefly treated here, but rape culture. So it's kind of stands out as a unique focused article on that. And the essay quiz on Oliver this week is one of the ones where you can see the topic ahead of time. Here it is. So repeating it here, it's very, very brief, a couple questions, but obviously a very important and possibly expansive issue. So please do support your answer with the text and your own reasoning as usual. So again, as always, the book lists a good number of moral issues, framing them, and then getting, again, quick survey of our articles. Again, Groenhout, a pretty detailed article, not requiring that you read it. Always okay to read more than I make you read, though. That goes without saying. Hirschman's article, again from right around 2009. Her lecture video we're going to watch is from just a few years. I'm sorry, the article is from 2005, and the lecture that you're going to watch is from 2009. Linda Hirschman is in her late 70s now, and still going, still lecturing, still writing. Kelly Oliver's article, again, a current professor of philosophy, and some very powerful and provocative comments about this issue of rape culture. Skipping the Anita Hill, all interesting to read as well if you want. And then the Jonathan Anderson essay on masculinity, patriarchy, and feminism, which again can give you some ammunition to use in either the discussion board or the essay quiz this week as well. And then his article is presented in a very kind of intriguing summary way. And no case studies to read this week. So you don't have to do that unless you want to. All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks.